All right, today we are diving into a really powerful promise from the book of Revelation. It's a message aimed directly at a church that, on the outside, looked alive and well, but on the inside, it was spiritually dead. It's all about how to hold on to your faith when it feels like everything around you is falling apart. So here it is, straight from Revelation chapter 3. This is Jesus speaking to the church in Sardis, and he gives them this kind of cryptic, almost coded message. He points out a small group, a faithful few who have held on. But what in the world does all this symbolism mean? You've got names, undefiled garments, walking in white. What's the real meaning here? For them? And maybe even for us?
This is the big question we're going to unpack today. How do you stay spiritually pure when you're literally surrounded by compromise, by just dead religion? This one verse, believe it or not, holds the key, and we are going to decode it piece by piece. Okay, so first things first, let's look at that opening phrase, a few names even in Sardis. Now, this isn't just Jesus doing a head count. In the way the Bible thinks and speaks, a name carries so much more weight than that. You see, in Hebrew, the word for name is Shem, and it goes way deeper than just what's on your driver's license. Your Shem is your entire spiritual record. It's your character, your reputation, the authority you carry. So when Jesus says he knows their names, he's saying, I see who you really are. I see your true spiritual identity, the one that's remained faithful. In that idea of a true spiritual identity, it leads us right into the next big symbol here, the garments. This is where the metaphor gets incredibly rich and, honestly, just really cool. So Jesus looks at this little group, this remnant, and he praises them because they have not defiled their garments. It's such a powerful picture of spiritual purity and loyalty, right? They didn't let all the hypocrisy and the lifeless religion all around them stain their own faith. But wait. It gets even better when you dig into the Hebrew. The word for garment, beged, actually shares a root with the word for betrayal or deceit. Isn't that wild? So a defiled garment isn't just about making a mistake. It symbolizes a faith that's been compromised, a faith that's been betrayed by mixing God's truth with the world's ways. So what you end up with is this really stark contrast. On one side, you've got filthy garments. That's guilt. It's trying to be righteous on your own. It's dead religion. And on the other side, you've got white garments, a beautiful symbol of purity, grace, and a living, breathing relationship with God. And this whole idea isn't just something that pops up in Revelation out of nowhere. It has deep roots in the Old Testament. Check out this incredible scene from the prophet Zechariah, where the high priest is literally standing before God wearing filthy clothes. Now, pay close attention to what happens here. God doesn't look at the priest and say, hey, go clean yourself up. No way. An angel commands, take away the filthy garments. And then God provides a clean replacement. This is huge because it shows us that spiritual purity isn't something we can achieve on our own. It's a gift of grace that we receive. Okay, so if you're part of this faithful group with these undefiled garments, what's the reward? What's the promise? Well, Jesus says they will walk with me in white, for they are worthy. Let's break that down, because that word worthy can be tricky. You might hear that word worthy and think it's about earning your way in, like you deserve it. But that's not what's going on here. The Greek word is axios, and it means of equal weight. The idea is that their faith had real substance. It was genuine. It was weighty. It wasn't just an empty claim. It actually measured up to the truth they said they believed. All right, let's take a step back and just pull all these threads together. This single verse teaches us 4 massive lessons. First, our spiritual identity is like a garment we wear. Second, compromise with the world absolutely stains that garment. Third, and this is key, only God's grace can truly make it clean. And finally, even when you feel totally alone in a messed up system, God sees you, and he honors your faithfulness. But you know what? Jesus isn't even done yet. He doesn't stop there. He immediately follows up with an even bigger promise in the very next verse, a promise for anyone who overcomes. And this is a really important shift. He goes from talking about those few names to anyone who overcomes. So what does that mean? Do you have to be some kind of spiritual superhero to qualify? Well, not exactly. The Greek word here is Nico, and it's not what you might think. It's not about gritting your teeth and trying harder. It's about conquering by simply resting in the victory Jesus has already won. It's about trusting in him and letting his triumph be your solid ground.
And for anyone who does this, Jesus lays out this incredible threefold promise. It's like a spiritual hat trick. First, you're guaranteed to be clothed in that white raiment of purity. Second, you get this absolute security of knowing your name will never be erased from the book of life. And third, you get Jesus himself as your advocate, speaking your name before the Father. Okay, let's zoom in on that final promise, because this hits on one of our deepest fears as human beings, the fear of being forgotten, of being rejected, of not making the cut. So what is this book of life? Well, it's mentioned all over the Bible, especially in Revelation. Think of it as the heavenly register of everyone who belongs to God. Having your name in this book, it's everything. It means you're saved and secure forever. And this is the promise, right from the source, from Jesus' own lips. For the person who overcomes by faith in him, he says, I will not blot out his name. And as if that weren't enough, he adds that he will personally, publicly, and proudly tell the Father and all the angels that you belong to him. He is not ashamed to call you his own. So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? It's this. Your purity, your standing before God, and your eternal security are not hanging by the thread of your own performance. They are locked down, totally secured by the finished work and the unending faithfulness of Jesus Christ. That is the incredible news at the heart of this ancient message. And that really brings this ancient message right into our world today, leaving us with a question to chew on. In a culture that is constantly screaming at us to compromise, to blend in, to, defile our garments, this message challenges us right now. How are we, by his grace, keeping our faith pure?